Welcome, everybody, to the Nightly News Podcast. This is Professor Paul Miller. I'm in here joined for my monthly visit with Student Activities Director Adrienne Thoman. Adrienne,
hello.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, what we do each month here on the Nightly News Podcast with Adrienne is she comes down and she talks about some of the big events that are going on here on the Summerdale campus. We do every week every time she's on, we have Adrienne's Featured 3. And that'll be coming up here in just a few minutes. But one of the things I did want to start off with is we're winding down to the end of the term, Adrienne. In fact, we only have just a couple of weeks left in the term. I was just curious from your perspective, what do you typically see from our most successful students, things that they're doing during finals week? Maybe some tips for some of our other listeners.
Okay, so the first thing I would encourage all of our students as they're preparing for finals, we're only a few weeks away. Tell your employers now, cut back those work schedules and make sure you have time to study. To prepare for finals and everything that's involved with that, you need to get sleep. You need to make sure you have time to invest. So make sure you're not overbooking or overcommitting yourself. We do have one event in student activities that happens the Sunday night before finals week. It's called the Cram Jam. Happens every term. It is an overnight event. You are welcome to bring books and study. We open up the underground for about 10 hours, have a movie, have all kinds of other fun stuff happening, games, programming, prizes, and of course a little bit of opportunity for you to study and interact with your peers and do some stress relief before the big week.
You know, the thing about that I did want to make a point, one of the things I always talk about in my freshman seminar class is how important it is to budget your time during weeks 10 and 11. From a professor perspective, I can honestly say that that's when a lot of the things are coming full circle, whether it's term projects, whether it's just studying for a final or getting ready for a final presentation. I think a lot of the students that I've had tend to, especially in their first couple terms, not realize the importance of maybe taking that extra day off. You know, if I know a lot of our students are working part-time in the evenings, even if you just take one day off in the evening and promise yourself that you're going to spend it working, of course, I really think that can make a humongous difference, especially in weeks 10 and 11. Something just in a general sense that I do like to always make sure to tell everybody, week 11 is going to be much different than any other week, mainly because of when work is due. So this is certainly for some of our online students or even our on-ground residential students who take online classes. A lot of times your stuff week 11 is going to be due, say, Wednesday or Thursday. I know a lot of our students do a lot of their work on the weekends. So going into week 11, you have to readjust your schedule. So something I do in my online classes, I actually open weeks 10 and 11 at the same time, and I kind of just let everybody work at their own pace, understanding what they have to get done over the final 2 weeks. So, Adrienne gave great advice. Please, guys, even if you have to take or go in late or something, make sure that you're spending a little bit additional time studying in weeks 10 and 11 so we're successful during finals.
And I always tell my students too, you have those part-time jobs, right? You may be working at McDonald's, you may be working at, nothing wrong with that, doing those as careers, but you are here in college because maybe you want something different. So don't invest all of your energy into something that's not the goal. Your finals are going to get you your end result. They're going to get you a degree. They're going to get you to where you want to be. So make sure you're investing your time and your energy there.
Wonderful advice, Adrienne. Adrienne, would you like to just break down, you'd mentioned Cram Jam, and we'll talk about that. That's going to be March the 19th. It's going to start Sunday at 7 o'clock, go to 5 a.m. Can you just talk a little bit about what are some of the typical activities? I know you probably haven't booked the exact activities just yet, but can you give us an idea of what typically happens at Cram Jam?
Absolutely. So the Cram Jam is planned by our Activities Advisory Board. It's one of our student clubs, and they put it all together. So it's their masterminds that put this into action. Typically, we start out we've done Uno tournaments and reverse poker and
Reverse poker.
Yes.
Can you explain what this is?
I don't know if I should do that on here, but so you know what strip poker is.
Okay.
We don't play that.
Let's get that out on the table.
Reverse poker is when I have a bag of crazy, ridiculous clothing, and if they lose a hand, then they have to put on the funny hat or the goofy tie or the bib overalls or whatever it may be.
Now that is an interesting game. I have never heard of that one. I love it.
We also typically we play a movie at midnight. We have pizza. We have Zumba. We have, I'm trying to think of what else. It's different every time, but we always try to keep it like every hour there's something different happening for the students.
Now, how many of our students can make it the whole time?
So we start out really strong. At the start of the event, we usually have, depending on the term, I would say around 40, 45, sometimes more than that, students, all in the underground having a blast. And as the night progresses, the sleepyheads start heading home. Usually we have, this last time, I bet we had 20, which is the highest ever that have made it the entire time.
Hey, I'll be the first to admit, I've never been one to be able to stay up all night, and if I do it, it kind of messes me up for a couple of days.
Oh, yeah, Monday I'm spent. Monday is, I'm done.
Well, you have the right to be spent. Come on. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about before we get into Adrienne's featured 3 is we're very proud of the baseball team, and I just wanted to put a heads up out there to everybody that the baseball team does kick off their home slate on March the 7th over at Veterans Park. Norm Geary, our news correspondent, he just got done with a really nice piece on the blog that talks about not only do they have a full 25-man roster this season, they also have expanded their schedule to 40 games. So we're very excited, and we're still crossing our fingers that we're going to be able to get out and call like one or two of their games this year, which is going to be a very unique and momentous occasion for the Nightly News podcast. But just wanted to see if you guys ever do anything as far. I know you guys do a lot of shuttles to the basketball. Has anybody ever asked for some shuttles to the baseball games?
Absolutely. We did that last term, and we will likely get shuttled to as many games as we can this term as well. These guys, they're on fire. I see them every morning because Harry, our baseball coach, his office is right next to mine down in the underground. And let me tell you, these guys are up early. They're there before I am, working out, committed, getting ready for the season. Just as an FYI, shout out to them. They will actually be spending a weekend before the opening game getting Veterans Park all spruced up, doing some volunteer work and some service hours there. So they're not just getting ready for themselves, they're getting everything ready, doing that community service as well, which is incredible.
Well, even just last year, even though, on the record books they were under 500, to make the leap that they'd made from their very first season to last year, I mean, if we can even see half as much improvement as we did last year, which I fully anticipate, I think we have a real chance to be competitive this year on a serious level, and I really think that Coach Hitz has done just an absolutely wonderful job with our baseball team. So I did want to put a shout out there to the baseball team. All right. Well, it's about that time in the show where we come to Adrienne's featured 3 events. All right, Adrienne, what is the number 1 event that you'd like to talk about in March?
All right, so the first thing I want to bring up is happening actually on March the 1st. REACH is a local organization that supports AIDS and HIV services. They're actually going to be coming on campus. They're going to be doing a common hour discussion, 1210 to 110 in ATEC 200/202. So we'll be able to hear a little bit more about what they do, about HIV prevention and things like that. That's the information session. And then afterwards, they're actually going to be offering free HIV testing for our students. Whatever your relationship status is, it's super important that you know your status in terms of HIV. Get tested. It's absolutely free, needle-free, and you get a fun little safe sex goodie bag at the end. Totally worth it. So definitely take advantage of that. And it's only 10-minute process. They'll give you your results right there.
So the event that Adrienne's talking about, REACH, will be here on Wednesday, March the 1st from 12:10 to 1:10 with an informational session. They'll be there right after the Common Hour event until 3:30. And if you do participate in the HIV test, you get your results in just 10 minutes, and you do get the safe sex prize pack that Adrienne was alluding to. All right, Adrienne, what's event number 2?
All right, later that week, our men's basketball team, they are looking at their national championship game. They have a top seed in the competition, and we are going to go and cheer them on. So their first game is Thursday, March the 2nd. So we're going to be traveling there. It's about a 3-hour drive, but we're totally going to do it. We have one van, so if you're interested in going, let me know so we can get you on that van, pending the permission from your professors if you'll be missing class. If they win that game, when they win that game, of course, we'll schedule trips on the 3rd and then for the final game on the 4th. So lots of opportunities to come and cheer them on. We definitely want to have a home cheering station for our guys. They are going to do amazing. It's going to be played at Penn State Fayette.
Okay, so what Adrienne was alluding to, on March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, depending on the outcomes of the games.
Which they'll win.
But of course, that's what we are supposed to say. But I think with our top seed, I think that we are right up at the top, and I think that we should actually be favored to win in every game unless it was 1-2 in the finals. So we didn't want the basketball team to think we forgot about them with our little baseball tease earlier. We are so proud of what the team has done this year. Tyree Tucker just set the all-time scoring record at the school with 53 points in a game. So we are so proud of them, and I'm sure Tyree wants to go out on a positive note, seeing as this is his last year that he'll be with the team. So we look forward to that. Very important to note here. Number one, Adrienne did allude, please contact your professors. It's not to say that a professor would have a problem with you doing this. It may just be an unexcused absence. But in this case, I'm assuming that I certainly don't want to speak for everyone, but in this case, I think that we would certainly understand and be at least willing to give you some type of makeup assignment to go and support our Knights. If you do want to do this, though, please make sure to email Adrienne ahead of time. We only have limited space available on the vans, and we have to make sure that we are able to ride safely, so we can't overload the van. So please make sure that you email Adrienne to make sure to reserve your spot for Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. All right, Adrienne, what's number 3?
All right, number 3, I have to give a shout out to our student ambassadors. They are planning a new first-time event, which is hopefully going to be an annual tradition, called Big Man on Campus. So we're talking feats of strength, male bravado, all of that pomp and circumstance of a competition with our men here on campus to be the big man here on campus. Should be a ton of fun. It is going to be in the theater on March the 15th. Again, the student ambassadors, they're putting all of that together. I cannot wait to see it. I think it's going to be so much fun.
Well, not only that, Adrienne, we're trying to fill up the activities calendar. I mean, some of these things are still not finalized yet, so of course we understand that. So Adrienne's alluding to March the 15th, that's on a Wednesday. Big Man on Campus will take place in the theater, the event by our student ambassadors. One final event that I wanted to bring up. Adrienne, you're involved with the Greene team. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have a group of faculty, staff, and we did have a few students, but we would love to have some more join us if anybody listening is interested. But the Greene team is really focusing on helping to create a more sustainable environment here at Central Penn College. So they have had a common hour last month in February called TAP, where we watched pieces of that documentary. They're going to have more coming up. They're planning a big old Earth Day festival in April. But one thing that they are going to do in March is going to do a campus cleanup just to get the word out about the group and do some good and spruce up campus a little bit. We don't have a date set, but I just wanted to give a shout out to watch for it because we're going to need lots of help. I'm going to want everybody to get involved.
And, I'll tell you, just speaking from our past experiences with the media club, a lot of the times, for example, when we just did our soup sale last month, one of the best things about it is when we're going around delivering soup on campus, we're wearing our gear, we're getting the word out that way. Because, one of the things that we have somewhat struggled with is getting awareness out there about our organization and what we're trying to do. Certainly, people like you have been immensely helpful in getting the word out for us. But even as the Greene team could do that, it also gives them a chance to network with some potential students, other faculty and staff that are here on campus. So I really think that that does give you a sort of a PR opportunity as well when you're doing something like that. Of course, you're doing it for all the right reasons, not for PR purposes, of course, but it's certainly a nice side effect that can come about. Well, Adrienne, thank you so very much. I do want to review the featured 3 for the month. Obviously, March 1st, we have Reach attending campus for a Common Hour event, 12:10 to 1:10 in ATEC 200. If you stay afterward from 1:30 to 3:30, there are free HIV tests and free safe sex prize pack. The second is, of course, March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, our Knights men's basketball team will be venturing to the tournament with a top seed, and we look forward to them having a very successful 3 days. And finally, Wednesday, March 16th, Big Man on Campus from the student ambassadors in the theater. Adrienne, I just wanted to point out, we really, really appreciate you doing this with us, and we really appreciate having the opportunity to get the word out for some of the wonderful things that you're doing.
Thanks for having me. I always love coming here to visit, especially in the new beautiful podcast studio.
We're getting there with the new studio. We couldn't be any happier at this point. The open house was extremely successful. The soup sale was extremely successful. We're building our membership by the week. and we're just super, super happy with where we are, and you are one of the people that has always supported us, so we thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Professor Paul Miller, and speaking for Adrienne Thoman, Student Activities Director, and we'll catch you next time on the Nightly News Podcast.
This is Dave Baker, Dean of Student Services and the Athletic Director, and you are listening to the Nightly News.
Welcome, everyone, to the Nightly News Podcast. We are so fortunate to be joined here today by Darren Greene, Destani Matthews, and Siani Hunter. And the three of these guys were very instrumental in the recent fashion show that we had here at the end of January on the campus of Central Penn College. I would just like to welcome them all, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the behind-the-scenes things that took place during the fashion show and a little bit more insight about what's coming up in the future. It's wonderful to have everyone.
Hello, this is Darren.
And this is Destani.
And you're listening to the Nightly News Podcast. Now, in this segment, we're going to be touching bases on the recent fashion show event. This event happened January 28th. To make things clear, this is the first fashion show of CPC.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that is great. Well, I thought it went well. So we're going to get into the questions. Well, to start, how does it feel doing this project?
I'm proud that I got it done and completed. I'm happy that I got to use everybody that's a part of Central Penn College, like the rapper, clothing designer, and the models were the students. So I'm glad everyone played a part in it. And the CPC dancers did intermission and stuff like that.
Oh, that's good. That was, yeah, I thought the dancers were well. I mean, all the after parts, like the rapper, that was great. Mm.
For the last scene, Blackout, the models wore masks with the different names of Black lives that were taken from previous years. What made you decide to include this theme in the show?
I wanted to incorporate this because I just wanted to bring awareness, because everybody thinks this only happens like down south and it's not really a big deal. I wanted to just show everybody it is a big deal and it still is going on. It's not just affecting, black men. It's also been women involved and a young child named Ayanna Jones who was 9 years old. So I just wanted to show people, it doesn't just happen down there. So, and I wanted to end the show with something that a food for thought. You come, yeah, it's fun, but I also wanted to have, a little message in there.
Yeah, you want the people to be informed and stay awoken.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. All right. So what does fashion mean to you?
Fashion to me means that it defines who you are. It helps you express yourself without you actually saying something. Like how you dress and how you, present yourself. That's your first, somebody's first impression of you. Before you even open your mouth or introduce who you are, they look at your appearance first. So it basically is describing who you are as a person.
Yes. Yeah, I love fashion. All right, go ahead, Destiny.
What impact did you want to leave on people with the show?
That Central Penn College students can do anything we put our mind to. Central Penn tells us all the time, we're business-minded and we can do anything. So even though we got this done in 3 weeks, it shows, we all, had a part in it. So we all can get anything done once we put our mind to it.
So how do you think about your models? Did you think they did a good job?
I think all of my models did an excellent job because some models weren't comfortable. That was their first time modeling. So I think they all did an excellent job. I don't have any critiques. They were all professional. They all came, did what they have to do, and I hope they come out to the next fashion show.
Oh, okay. Well.
So how was the process of, getting the models together, practicing the dances and the walks and stuff? Was it stressful for you?
It was stressful and nerve-wracking at the same time because I'm new to Central Penn, and this is my second term. So a lot of people don't know me. So getting the word out, and I just, prayed to God that everyone came out, and it wasn't just me and two of my other friends. So it was stressful, but once we figured out who was actually doing the show and who was committed, everything went smoothly. Everyone came to practices. They were on time. It was very professional.
So you were proud of the outcome of the production?
Yes, I was surprised at the crowd size, honestly. I thought it was going to be 10 people. But I spoke to Big Slur, and she said it was 60 people there. So, wow. Yeah, I was really surprised.
It was a big show. I was so excited to be a model for the first time, because I never did that before. I always seen it on TV and was like, oh, I'm going to walk. Because, I'm always, how I walk. I always walk like it's fun. But you answered my last question. But, so when are we going to get another fashion show?
Central Penn wants me to do it every fall term. Oh. But I'm trying to get one for the summer term of 2017. So let's keep our fingers crossed.
Yes, keep those fingers crossed. And we will definitely stay tuned to your show. And I'm Darren.
And I'm Destani.
And you are listening to the Nightly News Podcast.
Hi, this is Sarah Blumenshine, Alumni Engagement Director at Central Penn College, and thank you for listening to the Nightly News Podcast.
Welcome back to the Nightly News Podcast. We are so happy to be joined by Darren Greene, Destani Matthews, Siani Hunter. We're talking a little bit more about the fashion show, just wrapped up the end of January. Siani, I had a couple of questions for you here. Can you give me a little bit of feedback on where did fashion first come to be in your life? How did you first get involved with fashion? And then maybe a secondary question, tell us a little bit more about what it took to put this thing together.
I came, I was interested in fashion after my cousin Ashley, she started her own clothing line. And when I was younger, I want to say 11 or 12, I would model for her. And then I joined the modeling troupe at my old university. So I got a little bit of background with it. And it just always stuck to me. I like getting dressed. I like the whole process of the hair and makeup, so I enjoy it. I just enjoy it. I like it.
Well, let's talk about some of the behind the scenes of this. Now, you said you made a reference that you had about 3 weeks to set this up. No matter who you are or no matter what you do, when you put together an event, there's always going to be hiccups. Can you just maybe tell us something funny that happened behind the scenes that maybe it was sort of a pain, but it's a learning experience?
Off the top of my head, I really can't think of nothing except for the day of the show. One of the models, she lost her whole entire outfit and they were about to go on. So I was on the walkie-talkie freaking out Malcolm, please play some music, do something. So that was a hiccup to have everything more organized backstage, as far as everybody names on the clothes and stuff like that. Because once I gave them their outfits, I was it's your responsibility. But now I'm next time I'll have clothing racks and stuff like that.
Well, the best thing about doing something like this is that it gives you experience. You now have gone through it once. You can see, hey, these are the things that work. These are the things that didn't work. So next time when we do this, if you are going to do it again in the summer, you've already got a nice detailed list of things that you already know that you need to do. And I think that a lot of people don't realize that when they're putting together events. There's always, no event has ever gone perfect. Yeah. I have done so many events over the years, and never once has an event gone totally perfectly. So we have to make sure that we keep that in mind, that it is a learning experience. Yeah. But hopefully at least it was fun for you. I know it can be, when you do something like this, very stressful. But was it fun?
Yes, I enjoyed it. Even though it was stressful, I enjoyed every part of it. Making some of the clothes for everything but clothes. I enjoyed getting the models together. And I feel it brought all of us closer in a way, because it was some girls I never talked to. And now I feel we're not friends, but we're associates. When I see them, I'll speak and stuff like that. So I enjoyed the whole process of it, even though it was a headache.
Well, nothing worth doing is easy, and so I think you proved that. But to be honest with you, everything that I heard about the event was unbelievably positive, and I'm so happy that you guys were able to do this, have a huge crowd. I mean, again, learning experience for all of you, and maybe, like you just said, bringing some of you guys a little bit closer. Back in my college days, some of my best friends to this day are people that I met, my first term of college. So maybe this is the start of a new friendship, as they say. Do you guys have any other questions for Siani?
No, I think you covered it. But
I actually do have a question. What are your expectations for the next fashion show?
I want the crowd size to be bigger. I want more models. I want more designers. I just want it to be bigger and better. So if anybody have any ideas they want to throw my way, any critiques or anything, I'm open to everything. So
okay,
yeah, just bigger and better.
So I do actually have a question. So how are you going to get? Because I know before we had designers making the clothes, but then you ended up altering our clothes, which was a good idea. I thought it was well. So how are we going to in the future have them actually do it next time? Actually come out and give us some clothes so we can wear.
Yeah, I feel like last time it was kind of last minute. So
Yeah.
now this time I have learned that I got to give people more in advance notice, and I got to, put down the model size a little bit more, because the designers we did find, there was like, oh, well, we need this amount of boys, or I only have boy clothes. So, now I need more of a variety, like more boys, maybe less girls, or just more designers, because I do want everybody to be a part of the next one. Like people who weren't in this one, I want them to be a part of it. Like I want it to be like a Central Penn thing, like every year, even if I'm not running it or doing it, maybe somebody else can take over one day. But it's a good,
Oh, well, that's good.
Can you just tell us a little bit more about some of the behind the scenes? When you first started doing this, how did you approach the designers? What was the final product of because we were talking about that when we were preparing for the show. Aren't most fashion shows one specific designer or a combination of maybe certain styles? How did that work with what you guys did?
Yes, you're right. Usually fashion shows all have one designer, but I don't design clothes. And neither does Malika, the other girl I put on the show with. So we were just like, maybe if we find up-and-coming designers, whether they be from Philly or Harrisburg, it's like free publicity. So that's what we were looking for. And we did have a couple of young designers that said they would do the show, but I guess it was like too overwhelming for them. So that's when me and Malika had to start thinking outside of the box. Like for scene 3, everything but clothes, we just got bandeau tops for the girls and just like glued like pom-poms on them, or like little puff balls we found at the dollar store and stuff like that. So next, probably in the summer term, if we do have the fashion show, like I said, I'll be looking to go to like more boutiques to get like professional stuff and more of a theme for the fashion show, because each scene was different this term. So next, I'll probably have like everything more cohesive, if that makes sense.
But again, like I said, this is a learning experience. You now know what went well, what didn't go well, where you can make some changes. So I think that's fantastic, and we're super glad to support you guys in doing this. Well, I just have one final question. How would our students go about contacting you? Maybe I don't know if you're comfortable with giving out any of your contact information, but is there a way that if somebody does want to be involved in this or has some kind of suggestions for you that they can get in touch with you?
Yes, I'll give you guys my Central Penn email, and if we decide that we are going to do a fashion show the summer term, I'll give you guys my cell phone. But my Central Penn email is Siani, SIANI .Hunter, HUNTR, at mymail.centralpenn.edu. I check it every day. It pops up on my phone, so you'll get a quick response if you have any questions.
So that's Siani.Hunter at mymail at centralpenn.edu. And so one of the things that you can do is if you're interested in being a part of this, you can feel free to email Siani, and she will at least speak with you, reach out to you, listen to your suggestions. Or if you want to just be a part of helping orchestrate the show, volunteering, those types of things, I'm sure that she could find a spot for you as well. Well, Siani, thank you very much for taking the time out to be here with the Nightly News Podcast. And again, before the summer fashion show, why don't you come back and we'll do a little preview and a little promotion for you guys.
Yes, I would love that. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, no problem at all. Okay, for Darren Greene, for Destani Matthews, for Siani Hunter, this is Professor Paul Miller, and we'll catch you next time on the Nightly News Podcast.